Now, I did a video discussing the um, supposed, and we do have an update, but what Trump somewhat proposed was giving $2,000 to everybody. Well, actually, it's not everybody. It is not going to be given to those that are high income. What that means to him, I don't know. But those that are high income earners, they will not get this $2,000. Effectively, this is a stimulus, and I'll explain exactly why. You are still living with the disastrous results of every single stimulus package that has been thrown out there, especially the COVID one. You cannot look at the monetary issues without addressing some of their spending efforts, especially the stimulus packages and just giving out money, thus increasing the money supply. Now, what some people have said, because that's what he said, and this is why I want you guys to take a step back. This is all that I ask of everybody that watches my show and everybody that listens to me. I'm not asking for you to agree with me. I'm not asking for any of that. What I want you to do is take a step back, maybe zoom out just a little bit and think critically about this entire situation. I want you to go look at the facts for yourself. I want you to actually not run on, even if you like this guy, even if you like this current administrations or members of it. I just want you to actually go for yourself. Don't take my word for anything. For yourself, go actually look at the numbers and put two and two together. The idea that the tariffs, that this isn't a stimulus or this is somehow permissible because they're using the tariff money, it requires you to, number one, believe the statement, but most importantly, it requires you to suspend economic reality. Okay. The government spends in a deficit right now. The only way that that money could technically be not a stimulus was if it was somehow the money that they're bringing in for the tariffs, the revenue supposedly that they're bringing in for the tariffs is more than the deficit. And if you are unfamiliar with what the deficit is, that is how much money that the government is spending every single fiscal year that they know they're not going to get. And that thus is added to the debt. Okay. The latest numbers, as far as their revenue reported by this own administration, they have collected approximately $200 billion in tariffs. Okay. Again, zoom out. They're saying, or what Trump is saying, is that he's going to give $2,000 to everybody. What's ever left, which is nothing, by the way, I'll explain how, is going to pay off the debt. This is what I need you to understand. The current deficit right now for this fiscal year is $1.8 trillion. Estimated, right? Obviously, it always balloons. Remember doing this video not too long ago talking about this, and it wasn't projected to be that much. Now it is. Okay. So 100, or let's just round it up, $200 billion is nothing near covering the cost for the amount of money that they are overspending on in just in general, as far as the federal government is concerned. There is no money to give you. It's simply not. They would have to, just as they do with any other stimulus package, increase the money supply, or rather just all in one, injecting this fake buying power into the economy by giving everybody this money that does not exist. I understand what he's saying. I understand that you're a fan of it. I know a lot of y'all disagree with me on tariffs. I'm just giving you the facts. They're not anywhere close to bringing in enough tariff money, which is just taxes anyway, bringing in enough tariff money in order to say that they're no longer spending in a deficit. They are spending in a deficit. They're continuing to spend in a deficit, and they're counting on you. Every single agent of the state is counting on you simply not understanding how much, well, they're counting on you, misunderstanding how money works. We keep excusing any administration, doesn't matter whether it's Trump's, Biden's, Obama's, and whoever will inherit it in the future. And the Congress, whether it's majority Democrat, majority Republican, we let these guys get away with lying. We let the guys get away with kicking the can down the road. I remember back in March, you can go watch my old videos. Everybody said that we had to, with that continuing resolution, we had to compromise because, well, in September, which is past, it is come and gone, they were going to address the spending efforts then. Guess what? The spending efforts never got addressed because they never were going to get addressed. That is just something to calm you down when you say, guys, you're spending out of control. This inflation rate, everybody knows, is bogus. It's not just 3%. It's never been just 3%. Everybody that spends money understands that their money is not going as far as what it had in the past. Whatever the inflation rate, core or not, whatever the inflation rate is that they tell you, you can always count on it being more than that. Everybody feels that. And if you want to address it, we're talking about all of these Band-Aid issues. Now they want 50-year mortgages. And instead of just fixing the money, which would require you to get your spending under control, but instead of fixing the money, everything is a Band-Aid. Everything is like a short-term fake solution, which oftentimes increases their deficit spending, increases the debt, increases inflation, and thus exacerbates the issue. That's what we are always forced to deal with. And I think a lot of it has to do with the cult of personality in politics. And I don't care who you support or who you find favorable. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of, I got to trust this guy. I think that the person that they either run against is much worse, and therefore I have to hold my nose with every single thing, and your tongue with every single thing that they do. And I would make the argument that that's what got us in this problem. If you want to fix the issues that plague this country, whether it be regular individuals, regular Americans, regular families, just simply not being able to have their money go as far, small business owners, you have to fix the money. I kept making this argument back in March. This issue of spending is not an issue, it's the issue from which all of these economic problems stem from. It is the issue. There is no way that you can try to address it in rather in isolation. Like you look at these other issues and you try to rank it, and then simultaneously everybody's money's going to crap. And then you're sitting here looking like, well, how do we fix it? Guys, it has to be addressed. And that is going to come with some harsh realities, not necessarily admitted by you all, but by the government. I'm going to talk about the shutdown here in a bit and kind of how this sort of aids my position here. But that has to get addressed. It has to. People understand that that's the problem. The money's the problem. The money has always been the problem. The money is the problem. And we're not talking about disposable income. We are talking about people trying to just eat, trying to live. Necessary spending, which thus hurts everybody. Even if you are someone like the Rippaverse, right? We don't sell these like necessity goods. These are luxury goods. By all accounts, are luxury goods. So when the economy is not doing that great, we still suffer. People don't have disposable income. Why on earth would they be thinking about buying a comic book when they're trying to keep the lights on, when they're trying to put food on the table, when they're trying to support their family? It impacts everybody of every industry, and it has to be addressed. And all I'm asking America, this is it. I just want you to think critically, and I want you to think for yourself. Not go based off of what people are saying, not go based off the rhetoric. I just want you to use your noggin. That's all I'm asking.